I chose to do my presentation on theater during the English Renaissance with emphasis on the playwrights of that time. The English Renaissance theater was also known as Early Modern English Theater and Elizabethan Theater. It began in 1562 and ended in 1642. The London authorities were hostile to public performances. However, Queen Elizabeth I loved the plays and her support overwhelmed their hostility. The theater at that time also unified the social classes because the courts and commoners all attended the same plays. The theaters at this time were large, profitable public theaters. Some of the main theaters that were created were the Theatre, Curtain Theatre, the Rose, the Swan, the Globe, the Fortune, the Red Bull, and Blackfriars Theatre. The Globe is the most prominent to us now. They were all created with very similar constructions, with 3 stories high and built around an open space at the center. The Blackfriars Theatre, however, was a different construction and much smaller than the others, as shown in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Acting roles were given to only men during this time. Shows were also rarely put on for more than 2 days in a row at a performance space. One of the notable actors at this time was named Richard Burbage, who was the leader in Shakespeare's company. The costuming during this time was very lavish and brightly colored. It was also extremely expensive, so they rarely changed the costumes based on the time period of the show. Stage scenery was also very minimal, which was why the costumes were very lavish. Obviously, one of the most notable playwrights of this time was William Shakespeare. He was born in 1564 and died in 1616. His plays began to grace the London stage by 1592, and they were performed by his company, Lord Chamberlain's Men. William Shakespeare was both a playwright and an actor. He also had a stint of writing poetry, which included Venus and Adonis, A Lover's Complaint, and his many sonnets. His plays extended through many genres, including comedy, which had plays such as Much Ado About Nothing and The Comedy of Errors. Most of his plays, however, at this time were history, such as Richard II, Henry V, and Henry VI. He also wrote many tragedies, including Romeo and Juliet, Othello, Hamlet, and Macbeth. He then tried out writing tragicomedies, including Cymbeline and The Tempest. Overall, he has 37 plays and 154 sonnets credited to him. Other notable playwrights include Francis Beaumont, whose most notable work is The Knight of the Burning Pestle. He has 13 plays existing today that show collaboration between him and John Fletcher. Thomas Dekker, who is most noted for The Shoemaker's Holiday, had a hand in 240 plays. However, only 20 plays are known to have been published during his lifetime. John Fletcher is known for The Faithful Shepherdess and Valentine. He partnered with Shakespeare and has 9 works published during his lifetime. Thomas Heywood is most known for A Woman Killed with Kindness and has a surviving canon which consists of 23 plays and 8 masques. Ben Jonson, who wrote Every Man in His Humour and The Alchemist, was the first unofficial poet laureate of England, and his reputation rivaled that of Shakespeare's. Thomas Kyd wrote the Spanish tragedy and an early stage version of Hamlet. John Lyly wrote 2 Euphues, prose romances. Christopher Marlowe wrote Dr. Faustus and Tamerlane. Thomas Middleton wrote The Changeling and Women Beware Women. He also published verse, prose, masques, and pageants. John Webster wrote The White Devil and The Duchess of Malfi. His plays were grounded in malevolence, violence, and anguish. The end of the English Renaissance was brought upon by the Puritan movement. The Puritan faction gained control of the city and thought that theater promoted immorality because of the men who dressed as females. They closed the London theaters, and those theaters then remained closed for the next 18 years.